From Tally to Cali,
It's time
to wake up.
Wake up! Wake up!
Warchant.com is your ultimate Seminole sports source.
And this is Wake Up Warchant, presented by Vitamin Energy.
The vitamins.
The energy.
Now here's Warchant.com's Aslan Hajavandi
And Corey Clark.
We do a podcast that covers the number 14th ranked Florida State Seminoles, everybody. It's Wake Up Warchant. It's live. I'm Aslan. There's Corey Clark. Looks like some new digs, but it's still the same old people supporting us, the good old people at Vitamin Energy. VitaminEnergy.com. Shake it. I'm going to take it. Corey Clark, can you give me a call to action? What can people do? They can buy one and get one free.
I think we call that a Warchant BOGO. BOGO.
We do. And I haven't worked on my forearms in too long. I can't get the thing open. I shook it.
And he took it.
Let's go, everybody. Thanks for being here. Hit the thumbs up. We certainly would appreciate it, as well as going to vitaminenergy.com and using that promo code WarChantBOGO to buy one and get one free. And subscribe to warchant.com. If you're a student, it's absolutely free. Just email support@warchant.com from your FSU.edu email address. In the subject heading, just put student membership, and then we'll get the wheels in motion. You'll have a free membership. If you're not a student, we're going to need $1 from you. And you get a whole week of access and a subscription for a whole year to The Athletic. Not bad. Not bad at all, I don't think. Corey Clark, new surroundings, it looks like there. How are you, my friend?
I'm good, buddy. I don't know how I sound. I hope I sound
Great.
good. It's a little cavernous kind of in here. It's my first day in this this new rental property I have in Decula, Georgia. So yeah, I'm just trying to get that's why there's nothing on the wall. The stuff looks clean behind me. It's because the Clark boys haven't been in here yet. So this is our first night in the new place.
Okay. I got some extra swag here if you need some stuff for the walls, let me know.
I need all of it.
Okay.
I don't have anything.
Okay.
Or I might want to keep it in Tallahassee. I feel like most times I'll be up here most Wednesdays. So yeah, I need something. People are going to get tired of looking at my kitchen.
What happened to the Warchant banner you used to have?
I don't know.
Did that stay with the house? Was that part of the sale?
Yeah, they had to leave it there. I think I had to sign it. I think it got lost in the move. I haven't been able to locate it quite yet. Sorry, Gene.
We appreciate all of our subscribers from warchant.com that tune into this. We appreciate all the pillars. We enjoy everybody that comes and asks questions. And shout out to Eric Angel. Apparently, he's now a YouTube member. Saw Eric Angel at the Corner Pocket last weekend. Good to see Eric, as well as the whole gang, if you will. Let's just dive right into a question here, Corey. Danny C. 1228. Good evening. How has your opinion on Mike Norvell's future here for the next several years changed due to beating Alabama? I know it's just one game, but given who it was, wow, we're really coming out the gate swinging on this one, and the unexpected outcome, I'm curious.
Yeah, I mean,
let's not add like 3 more years to his contract,
right?
But
let's ride that one out for a while. Let's ride that contract out for a little bit.
Hot board might be, I don't know, like it might be buried under some stuff now. Like the hot board was kind of over here, everybody. Might not be able to see where it was. But yeah, that can probably take a breather for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big win. It's a really big win. He desperately needed it. This fan base program, all of it, we all desperately needed it, but he really needed it because it feels like it's a win maybe you weren't expecting when the season started. And if you had a certain number of like this guarantees he stays, and let's just say your number was 8, well, that really helped because now you feel like that gets it does get much closer to 8. I don't know. Look, man, you start thinking about the next season and it's like, okay, what are they going to have coming back? And what's going to be, I think they're going to be good this season if they stay healthy. I think they have the makings of a good playoff caliber-ish team. I don't think that was fool's gold what we saw. I don't think that was smoke and mirrors. I think this team is made of the right stuff and is going to be pretty good. That doesn't guarantee next year's team will be. And then what? So I don't know. I don't think one game can change 3 years or 4 years. It can definitely change what you think this year is. And it puts him on much more solid footing for now. But again, we're in the first week of September. So a lot of teams are back in the first week of September and then don't end up having great seasons. So we'll see where this thing goes. But that was a very, very big win for him.
Absolutely. Yeah. Listen, that Miami game is going to be tough. I think it might be a little bit tougher than I anticipated, was Miami like were they preseason a favorite, like on some of the early betting lines, Corey? I don't even know if Miami was.
Probably, but who would know? Yeah, who would know?
You know, I saw somebody start a thread about like they were not impressed with Miami's win. I'm going to have to disagree. I mean, I wasn't wowed, but I was like, all right, man, like Carson Beck looks a little bit better than I thought for a guy coming off UCL injury. And like you said, Corey, they got that fresh and wide receiver that played pretty well. They're always going to be able to kind of push pretty well up front on the offensive line. Ruben Bain's a big headache on the defensive end of things. Mesidor on the other end. I mean, they got a pretty solid team. Clemson's still going to be a really solid, tricky contest. So, you know, as much as I want to sit here and talk about, you know, playoff, and it's incredible that we can talk about playoff and we don't sound ridiculous at all. I don't think, Corey, do we? I asked Tom this when we did Warchant Report. Talking about Florida State being a playoff team is not a ridiculous proposition right now, right?
Well, no, because you've got to be. I mean, they're 14th in the country right now, and the top 12 go. So no, that's not ridiculous. They've got to win at least. As Leonard Hamilton used to say when his team won a big game in January, he's like, no team that only won 11 games has ever gotten to the NCAA tournament. So no team that's only won one game has ever gotten to the college football playoff. But it was a big win, and it positions you well where if you can take care of business against the lower tier ACC teams or middle tier ACC teams, then yeah, you should absolutely be in contention when you're playing NC State the Friday before Thanksgiving.
So we've only been in this situation for 2 years now in the ACC where we've done away with conference divisions, and we've just done the two best records in conference make it to Charlotte. And the first year was when Florida State took on Louisville. Florida State undefeated, 8-0 in conference play. Louisville was 7-1. Last year it was SMU. They were 8-0. Clemson was 7-1.
Yeah.
So listen, man, like you got to split Miami and Clemson. Like there's really no two ways about it. I don't think, Corey. Like if you lose both those games, you're probably not going to Charlotte. So you got to split those games, and then we'll see where the chips fall after that. I mean, if you're in Charlotte and you beat Miami, you beat Florida, you've beat one of Miami and Clemson, you beat Alabama. Even if you don't make it to Charlotte, you still might be able to claw your way in there. But if you're in Charlotte, man, with that resume, you're in pretty good shape, I feel like.
Yeah, it's a long way away, though. But, yes, I don't want to – we shouldn't speculate 11 weeks out what their record has to be to get into Charlotte. It's probably going to at least have to be 7 wins. But even still, they right now, as you're looking at it, who did you watch this weekend that was more impressive? Again, it's August 30th when they played that game. It wasn't November 30th. But as you were watching this weekend, there weren't that many teams that were more impressive. Maybe LSU. That's a great win. But other than that, Florida State had one of the best wins of the weekend. Ohio State, I guess. Their defense looked really, really good.
I think Florida State was most impressive. Then probably LSU. Then probably Miami. Then probably Ohio State.
Yeah, but then if you lose at Virginia, who cares? You know what I mean? That's the agony of this sport. Is the beauty of it too, though. The beauty of it too, yeah. So if they play like they did against Alabama, against most of these teams, in my opinion, just the physicality and the way they play defense, they're going to win a lot of games, and they're going to be right there in the conversation heading into around Thanksgiving holiday.
Let's go to our guy S. Quinn, 67. I've never seen him drop money in the jar, but that's super nice of you. You didn't have to do that, S. Quinn. You're a value subscriber, but we do appreciate it. The what if happened this weekend was great. I guess what if they actually win? Is that the what if?
I guess, yeah.
The weekend was great. From the corner pocket to the cathartic cleansing rain, washing 2024 off of us. Go Noles.
Yeah, that was a driving rainstorm for about 8 minutes, but holy cow, that was a Tallahassee staple. That was a straight up Tallahassee late summer thunderstorm right there that everybody got to see.
I was about to say, I wonder if there's a little bit of divine intervention in there, because it started when Alabama had the ball on offense, and if they were able to maybe get like one more score before half, it's got a little bit of a different feel. I don't think it changes the game, but it was interesting to me that like as soon as they got the ball and it was like a pivotal drive, it just was an absolute deluge on top of them. And then when Florida State got the ball, I mean, it was slowing up a little bit, but Florida State didn't have to go fast. They
that was the end of the half when Florida State got the ball. They ran out the clock, which actually If we want to go to
they could have like really put their like foot on the throat, but I'm totally fine with it. They ran like one or two plays to see if they could bust something, and then they're like, well, we can't. All right, we're up. Let's go.
Well, they got a first down, and I thought they were being a little too cavalier anyway. You had a 10-point lead, and you were getting the ball to start the second half, and it was raining significantly. No need to risk it. And then Pettibone, who was awesome, who was the ACC Player of the Week, rolls a ball back on a snap. And Roydell has to pick it up. And that's when Norvell finally said, yeah, this is dumb. Let's stop doing this. Alabama's out of timeouts. Let's go in with a 10-point lead. Probably should have maybe done that a little quicker because they weren't going to throw. But I also understand the thought of what if you bust a 50-yarder, and that was a good idea.
Let's go to Kevin Witherspoon, 3934. With Bama behind us, how would you rank Florida, Miami, Clemson in terms of toughest matchups? I know we were expected to lose all three in the preseason. What are we thinking now? I never thought they were going to lie. I wasn't. Clemson, yes, but the other two I was not surrendering.
Yeah, look, Florida, what do we know? They beat Long Island. I literally didn't know Long Island had a football team. No offense to my Shark fans out there. I didn't know Long Island had a football team. And Miami, look, I hate to be this guy. Ask us in 3 weeks after Miami has played Florida, and they both played USF. I think we'll have a very good idea who's the better of those two teams. Number one, they play each other, but just what it looks like after the season opener. I also think Clemson, even no matter what that looks like, I'm of the opinion that Clemson is still the toughest of the three. That defense is pretty darn good. Klubnik is not going to look like that all season, I don't think, and they do have good wideouts. Klubnik's a good quarterback, and that's a really, really salty defense. And it's Death Valley. That's going to be a tough win, and there could be a lot on the line for that game. So that could be a really, really tough game. It will be a tough game. When was the last time at Clemson wasn't tough? 13? They're always tough, man. They've been tough every time Florida State's been there the last quarter century.
I'm going to go Miami one. That Miami game is going to be nasty, man. That's going to be
you think the home game against the Canes is tougher than the two roadies? I
just think, man, there's going to be so much hype going that game. I think Miami probably beats. I mean, they've got the Gators at home. I don't know if they got to go to Tampa. I don't think they got to go. I think they went to Tampa last year. So I think both those games might be at home. They get a bye week before us, then they get a bye week after that game too, Miami. So maybe I'm just kind of trying to speak some romanticism of my youth of just like a huge Miami, Florida State clash back in Doak Campbell Stadium. But I think with the way they're built, the way we're built, the way we looked, well, listen, man, Notre Dame's a tough team, man. Notre Dame is not a pusher. That's another physical team. Yeah. And Miami went blow for blow at them. So I think they're much more on our level than the way Alabama was. And I'm not denigrating what Florida State did, but like Alabama did not rise to the occasion, man. Like Alabama got punched in the mouth and they cowered. Clemson definitely won't. And I don't think Miami will either, but I'm not saying that we're going to lose those games for sure, but I'll go like Miami, Clemson. And I think maybe just a cut below Clemson is going to be the Florida one.
I just think Florida, we don't know anything yet. It's still the preseason. We'll find out more in the next week because Miami played Notre Dame, Clemson played LSU, like Florida State played. All three of those teams played top 10 teams. Florida played Long Island.
They got a good offensive line, though. They got a really good running back. If that quarterback's healthy, and it's in the swamp. But I get
Florida,
it.
I'm not saying it's not going to be. We just don't. Florida might be the best team in the country for all we know. Let's hope not, but we have no idea after Long Island.
Our guy Garrett PCL, do we think that James Williams, his missed sacks were more of a technique thing or upper body strength thing? I think it was a technique. Technique, personally, I'm not pass rush specialist. I'm not DEU, mentor or whatever. But to me, he was effective though. Like the first half, not so much, but the second half, like he was kamikazing. Like he was just going full bore. And if he was going to blow out a tire and go too low and get pushed to the ground, like so be it. But he did collapse the pocket. So I think he played overzealous. I think that was more about him playing with probably not the proper leverage as opposed to him just being like undersized or too small. My thought, Cord. That's it.
Yeah, and I don't think it's like he's not strong enough to bring Ty Simpson to the ground. Look, Alabama's tough, and they wore on him, and he played 50 snaps, and I'm sure he was tired. I absolutely think it was a technique thing. I just do. I don't know how he just got unlucky. Like he was about to in the game by tackling him from behind on that fourth down play that Rawls ended up getting him like a 4 inches short of the first down anyway. But Williams is coming up right behind him, is diving at him, and Ty Simpson doesn't even know he's there, but steps to the side to fake a throw, and Williams misses him. So I just think that was kind of a little bit of bad luck and bad technique. I have to imagine you're a starting defensive end at Florida State with Terrence Knighton as your coach. I don't think you're not strong enough to bring down quarterbacks. I just think it was and also, he's never been this guy, and I think he was probably a little frenetic, a little frantic first game, didn't play well to start, so maybe a little butterflies. Let's see what that looks like by Virginia and Miami too. I think he could be so. Because Aslan's right. I thought overall in the second half he was a plus player. He helped a lot.
Yeah, like 6 pressures.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. We want sacks. We want negative plays, but I mean, pressures usually lead to, neutral plays, right? Like incompletion. So I'm fine with that as well. R. Ken Dust Jr. gives us $10. That's cool. Let's give him some music, Aslan. See my comment above with the coordinators. Shout out to our guy Andrew behind the scenes for highlighting it, so I didn't have to go scouring for it. I think it's worth discussing Norvell's growth in understanding the value in seasoned coordinators versus coaching arrogance getting in the way. Even Saban figured that one out. Yeah, man, I didn't think he was going to do it, Corey. I bet you a dinner, a double date dinner on it, and I lost, and I had to pay it, and I did pay up. But yeah, listen, I want to give full credit to Herb Hand and Terrence Knight and Gus Malzahn and Tony White. Mike's still giving them the last speech they hear before they get on the field. Mike's still telling them, every, things at halftime. He's, this is still Mike Norvell's program. It's still his team. Yeah, I mean, it's, so far so good. I think we all could have maybe hoped that it would look this good, but we weren't expecting it. But to see it look as good as we all hoped and dreamed it would be is a very comforting thing. And a lot of it's because of Mike, obviously. So,
yeah. And I want to thank you for the donation. And it's a good question. It's a fair tip. Sorry.
We're not struggling out here.
I heard Jeff say donation the other day. So it got caught in my head. I always forget tip, but is it growth or was it an ultimatum? Is it an edict? You know what I mean? Like how could he not understand it after last year? You would have to be blind and just completely bull pig-headed to not understand that he needed to change some things. But could Michael Alford or Peter Collins go to him and be like, you have to let go of the offense? So I think they would be like, I absolutely think we are changing this offense up. You do not get to run this offense anymore. And they would have been within their rights to do it because good Lord, last year. So he lost the right to call an offense after last year. So I don't know if that's growth. I do think the growth can come from appreciating it, not understanding it, because I mean, understanding might be the right word too. It's a fair point. It's a good question. I just think that I would have appreciated it more if he'd have done it after 23, before the disaster happened. Like after the disaster happens, a lot of people will do whatever they can to put fires out. I don't know if it's you understand about you understand as much as it's self-preservation. But that said, I hope he appreciates this new lot in life for him in this new role that he has, because I think he could be really good at it, especially if they give him really good coordinators, which it appears they have. And yeah, I think that he just, if they'd have gone 6-6 last year, maybe he's arrogant. Maybe he's like, nope, I know what it looks like. I've taken a team to a Cotton Bowl. I took a team to an ACC championship. It's one bad year. Give me a break. We'll be good again next year, I promise. When you do what he did, there was really no choice. They had to bring in some big money coordinators and some really good coordinators to kind of take things out of his hands.
All right, we'll agree to disagree. I think some of the first names that we saw on the – actually, I don't know. I mean, some of the first names we did see on the hot board, he's probably going to have to give up control.
But he was giving it up. That's what I mean. Yeah, he was going to have to give it up, whether it was Gus Malzahn or the guy from UNLV or a hot shot from high school. He was going to have to give up this offense after what happened last year.
I mean, he did say it, I think on maybe more than one occasion last year when he reminded us, like, listen, like I know what I'm like. I've done this before and I've been good at it. So Like that's why I made the bet with you, Corey. I'm like, he said that. I think he still believes in himself. He's not going to let 1 year ruin what he's done the last 10, 12 years as a offensive coordinator and head coach. But I'm glad I didn't. Like, listen, I'll be honest, man. I think one of the first, like when the first hot board came out, there was tears. And I think Gus was like on the, like, long shot or like dark horse.
Well, because he was still a power 4 head coach that wasn't getting fired. So it seemed like a long shot.
Well, not even that, but it's like, I don't know, really? Like Gus Malzahn, like he's going to be an OC again, and that's going to be work. And hey, man, I don't know. I was thinking about this the other day, Corey, and you mentioned it, like he's not a head coach anymore. So like maybe we should look at what he did as an offensive coordinator, but I didn't want him to get like burnt out, right? Like I know they put so many eggs in this basket against Alabama, and then it's like, well, he's going to have to keep that up. Like this is a torrid pace that he cannot keep up. But it's like, well, why not? He's not having to go on the road and recruit. He doesn't have to go on the coach's show Monday. He doesn't have to come to the podium 3 times a week. Like he can just do nothing but ball, right? Like just sit, figure out plays, get into. So,
and I think there's a chance that this is like Gus's briar patch, man. This is where he's supposed to be, and this is his comfort zone. Like he did some good things as a head coach. I mean, he got his team to a national championship game. He beat Alabama a few times. He won 9 games 2 straight years at UCF. But when he's just solely focused on being like the mad scientist in a lab with an offense, even though it's now been 18 years and people have a lot of people are running similar offenses, he's not just bursting onto the scene. He's good at what he does, man. And I think he really, maybe this suits him perfectly to just be an OC that doesn't have all the distractions and can be, he might be the Broyles Award winner, man. Who knows? Or maybe it's White on the other side. Who knows, buddy?
It is interesting, though. Let's say Arkansas doesn't work out with Sam Pittman. They come flirting with him. Like, would he be able to look at himself in the mirror and say, like, the reason I'm having this level of success is because I'm not the head coach, because I don't have to juggle with all this stuff. So if I take the head coaching job, I'm just going to be back in that whole rat race again, where they're going to love me one week, they're going to hate me one week. I'm going to, so not that you'll still have that as an offensive coordinator at Florida State, but I just wonder how much of that factors in, or if he's just, he's got utmost confidence who he is. I'm sure he thinks and believes he can lead an entire football program, especially like, listen, if he goes home to Arkansas, that's home. They're committed to giving everybody, they'll be committed to giving him resources for at least 2-3 years to compete. And like, it's 2025, it's 2026 at that point. There's 12 teams making the playoff. That's reasonable to try to elbow your way into it. Whereas, 5-6 years ago, it's like, yeah, man, like I've got to be one of the 4 best at Arkansas. Like, absolutely not. But
I just think, man, it would be weird to me because he wasn't getting fired. That is a misconception. Now he had put himself on the hot seat with a bad season, but the 2 years before that, they had won 9 games. I don't think he was in danger of getting fired. I don't think this was an I quit before you fire me type moment, but he was going to have to show improvement this year. He was on the hot seat. But he might have just been like, I don't want to do that anymore. I want to break from that. And it would be crazy to leave UCF where you're the head coach to then go be an OC at Florida State, probably enjoy it, have a good season, and then immediately jump back into being a head coach again for a team that's really going to have to struggle to get to the top tier of the SEC. I don't know. Maybe he just wants to go off into the sunset being an OC that everybody loves instead of a head coach that everybody hates.
Come on out to the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill every day. But this weekend, it's a home game, everybody. So Friday, meet and greet with Corey Clark, Tom Lang. I think I probably will be out there because Jeff said on Warchant Report he's going to maybe try to come out for one. Yeah, maybe a victory beverage after his son takes care of business with the Leon Lions. So come on out, 5 p.m. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill for a meet and greet. Delicious food, ice cold drinks, great service. Man, they were slammed on Friday when I was there, Corey. But it didn't take me long to get a drink order in. Granted, it was water, but I was parched. I had to yell. It was, me. I'm like a Lamborghini. I'm not a muscle car. Like I'm a sports car. I need everything to be perfect. I can't power through things. But Corner Pocket's going to treat you well. They're going to feed you well, and there's going to be all the games you want on the TVs all weekend long. NFL starts. Happy hour all day Sunday. Your favorite team, whether it's the Jags, whether it's the Seahawks, from Jacksonville to Seattle, they're going to have the teams on the TV that you want to watch because they know how to operate TVs. Crazy thing, right, Corey?
Yep.
Knowing how to operate a TV at a sports bar, but the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, they've got you covered. CPTallybar.com, the website, 2475 Appalachia Parkway. Speaking of Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, Eric Angel, he is a frequent denizen of that establishment. Let's go.
Dollar bills, y'all.
Thank you, Eric. 31 in the jar he gives because Florida State hung 31 on Bama. 31-17. We're ranked 14th in the AP. If we were undefeated going into Miami and win, give me the percentage that the Noles go undefeated.
I mean, I would still thank you, Eric, very much for the tip.
No taxes on the tips, by the way. I don't think, Corey.
That's right. I mean,
15%.
I assume he's saying regular season.
Yeah.
I guess if you beat Miami, I would give you. I'd bump it up to 33.
Woo.
Yeah, if you're 5-0 with wins over 2 top 10 teams, but you're still. Because I guess I'm putting the coin. I'm giving you kind of a little less than a coin flip at Clemson. Maybe a lot less than that. We'll see how the season plays out. And it feels like a coin flip in the swamp right now. I feel like 2 coin flips equate to 33%. I know that's not how math works, but that's how Corey Clark is doing math. So I'll say 1 in 3 chance of going undefeated if they beat Miami. They'll have knocked off 2 of the big boys of the 4 on the schedule. They're halfway home.
No, you're right.
But then Pitt and Virginia Tech, like those are losable games, gang.
Yes.
They are losable games. They're not coin tosses. If you're as good as we think this team can be, you have an 8 out of 10 chance, but that's a 20% chance you lose, and that happens. That's not crazy. 80% free throw shooters miss free throws all the time. They go 7 out of 9 in a game or 6 out of 7. So it can happen. So again, going undefeated in college football in any conference is really effing hard.
Yeah. I mean, just think about it. You know, if they're rolling and they're 7-0, or I think they'd be 7-0, right? Going into Clemson's clawing to stay in the thick of the ACC title. I mean, that's so much pressure on you. And then Clemson, I mean, granted, they have the pressure of their backs against the wall too, but it's a good problem, right? Like, I'm just worried. I'm not worried, but I do wonder, like, what happens when all these wins start stacking up? Like, you go into Virginia on a Friday night and you beat who I think is like a good, like a bowl eligible Virginia team.
Yeah. If
you go and beat them by 2 scores, and then you follow it by beating Miami, and you beat Pittman, that's not an easy stretch. And then, all the pressure just kind of keeps adding up, and you're going to need some real leaders to keep that pressure dispersed properly. Not to say that they don't, but it'll be interesting to see who can really like step up and keep the ship going in the right direction. But again, just make it to the playoff, make it to Charlotte, make it to the playoff. I don't care if you've got 1 or 2 losses, just be in the dance. Undefeated isn't the goal. At least not for me, Corey. Aaron P. throws $5 in the jar.
Dollar bills, y'all.
Going for a run.
There you go, Aaron.
I think his avatar is like a Spartan race kind of thing.
One of those guys, I see.
Yeah, good for him. Going for a run. Tell me again how good these Noles are while I get these miles in. Gus Bus Boom.
By the way, I had a little accident on the treadmill today.
Oh.
Sometimes not an accident in my pants. That happens every day. Sometimes when I get off the treadmill, I have to urinate in between, like during my treadmill run. Really? So I want to get I want to count my mileage though, so I'll keep it going at like a 3, and I'll hop off just so the treadmill keeps going. And I forgot I did that. And as I came back, the treadmill's still at a 3, and I'm actually looking in the mirror because I just walked on it and immediately fell down and caught myself with my arms on the treadmill and banged it up pretty good, man. Right. Still got my 5 miles in though, because that's the dog. That's the dog in me. I got Earl Little in me. And hey, speaking of Earl Little, he's one of the reasons why I think these Noles are good. Again, health is a huge part of this, but I think you have an offense that's going to be very, very difficult to stop. But for most teams, because of the running threat of a lot of guys, and because I really trust the coordinator and the O-line coach. And I think these receivers are much better than we got to see on. I mean, they are. I don't think these guys are going to be weapons. That they didn't get to be weapons much on Saturday. They will be weapons this season, these starting wide receivers. And so will Pittman be when he's back healthy. But yeah, so I think this Florida State team can be pretty darn good because I think the offense should travel because it can run the ball behind a veteran offensive line and a quarterback that's tough to stop and slippery. And if it's a close game late, even on the road against Virginia, I feel like he's a guy that can go win you the game. Defensively, implicitly, do I trust this defensive coordinator now? I just trust him implicitly. What he did on Saturday against that team, how he's made these guys that some of them have not been good football players at Florida State look like really good football players in one offseason. That just fills you with hope that you might have. Again, it's one game. We'll see. I have to qualify it because it is one game. But you might have a great coaching staff. Not a good one, a great one. We'll see. We'll see what we're saying at Thanksgiving. But I think it's a very good coaching staff. I think you've got some guys that play so fast and violent and physical and care, and then you have an offense that can be tough to stop.
Well said. I don't have a lot more to add to that. SRB 6345, in a perfect world, how many Tommy Castellanos runs per game would you like to see?
What is the deal again with these names, Aslan, on YouTube?
I don't understand it. We're sticking with Castellanos. Final answer, man. Final effing answer.
No. I didn't mean his last name. I'm saying, why is it SRB 6345 instead of Steve Jones or whatever?
Oh, I don't know, man. You got to take that up with the folks over in Google over in the California.
It's ridiculous. I don't know what's going on. SRB has a name. He doesn't want to be known as a number. He looks like a bot. You're not a bot. You're a person. You're a man.
Well,
I don't even know if you're a man. You might be a woman.
Wes has still got his name in there somehow. I'm sure there is a way to get your name.
I'm sure SRB are the initials.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, but who knows what that is?
6.5 over under.
You definitely don't want 17 or 16 or whatever it was. I would say, I look, it depends on the game. I would prefer 2 each of the next couple of games. After that, road games, whatever it takes, but I would say you're not trying to get into the 20 range. But anywhere in the big games or the games that are losable, I would say anywhere between 8 and 12 is what I would like.
Okay. Comfortable number. I like it. I like it a lot. Robert, how about the Twins getting 50 snaps and owning true freshmen against projected first rounders? They're going to be sick.
It is. You go back and watch the film of the way 93 and 90 play and how hard they play and how they're pushing Proctor back a few times with violence. And you're like, what in the world will this look like in 2 years? They have been in a college weight room. They were here for the spring, right?
Yes.
Or not? Yeah. So but either way, they've been in a college weight room for less than a year. They're true freshmen. They're still learning. You have to assume they're raw because all true freshmen are raw. And they're playing the defensive line, and they're playing against Alabama. And they go in, and not only do they not look frightened, they take it to Alabama. So it's not just how physically good they looked. The mentality you have to have as an athlete to say, they're the ones that should be scared of me, even though you're a true freshman nobody in their minds. You're playing Alabama, you're playing a first rounder, and you're like, no, I'm going to take it to him. I'm not shaking in my boots because it's Caden Proctor. I'm going to knock him on his ass because I'm Mandrell Desir. Like, just that attitude and that mindset, man, that's going to permeate everything they do for the next 2 years, to where they don't just expect to be good or expect to be serviceable or expect to be starters. They expect to be superstars. And when you expect that, sometimes that stuff happens. And, man, what a great first impression from those two guys. Way too early to say what they're going to end up being. But that is an unbelievable welcome to college moment for those guys. And Tony White said he expects them both to be freshman All-American. Because if you can do that against Alabama in game 1, you're gonna be really good. And I tend to agree.
Speaking of Tony White, Noel What says Tony should do what Brett Venables did. Have many years of success. Pick a top shelf head coaching job. Don't bolt quickly for a crappy school.
Yeah, we talked about that on Headlines. I agree. It's easy for us to say that. He wants to be a head coach. And if something like, I know I think he applied for UCLA a couple years ago. He did. UCLA might very well be wide open again after this season, the way they looked in their opener after a pretty down 2024. It's easy to say, yeah, don't go to that Big Ten school. So if UCLA comes open, that'll be hard. Look, a Power 4 school, especially a Big 2 school, if they come open and come to Tony White, it's going to be hard to keep them. But I agree. Like I would not leave Florida State for Southern Miss. I would not leave Florida State for Jack State or even like a TCU or a UCF. Like I think there is a chance if he plays his cards right, he could be the head coach of Florida State. Like, that's not out of the realm of possibility. Again, he's one game into his career. We might all be kicking him to the curb in 5 weeks. But you could play your cards right and become the head coach of Florida State. I don't know that Norvell's going to be here until he's 60. So there are a lot of ways for him to go. Also, he gets paid over $2 million. You could bump that up to get close to whatever Arizona is offering him. You could get somewhere in the neighborhood of where he's offered him. He just gets to be the DC at Florida State. But yes, if I'm him, because you can sabotage your career if you go too quickly and go to the wrong school. You can completely kneecap your career and your chances of coaching at one of these blue bloods if you go to the wrong school. Venables did it perfectly. Venables was unusual though. Like was he there for 12 years? Something like that?
Yeah.
And he coached his kids.
Yeah. He was also forced out of Oklahoma, so I think he probably felt some, he had more kind of life experience, saw the bad side of this thing. Like Tony White's just been upwardly mobile everywhere he's gone. He's never been asked to leave, right? Like Venables asked to leave, then you go to Clemson, you enjoy all the success. You're like, all right, man, this is pretty good.
Was Venables asked to leave? Is that true?
At Oklahoma, yeah, man. Like Bob Stoops, like, yeah, man. Like, or maybe Lincoln Riley let him go, and then he hired Alex Grinch, which that didn't work out great. But we'll see if Lincoln got his groove back. I don't think so. It's crazy, man. How are teams in LA not going to be killing it here in this NIL era? I don't know. Z-Chan's in the house. His name's Zach, by the way, everybody. What? $100 in the jar from the dentist.
Yep.
Not the dentist. If you know, you know. Yo, just got done having a beer with Spartan and Hawaii Noel.
Okay.
Good time.
I guess they're staying in town. They got 2 home games for the price of 1 trip.
Over under which quarter we see Kevin Sperry on Saturday? 2.5's the number, I would think, right, Corey?
It is, but I would go, I don't know how to do this bet. I think he won't play until the 4th quarter. So I'm going, is that under or over?
That'd be over?
Yeah, I guess over, yeah. I'm going to go over. I'm going to say he's not in there till the 4th quarter.
Okay.
Because, look, man, Brock Glenn is still here. He didn't leave. You don't just say, hey, you played enough. We're going to let the freshman get some reps. Brock Glenn has earned, presumably, if he's healthy, he's earned some time to play too. He is not a finished product either. And I feel like if Castellano sprains his ankle in the 2nd quarter against Virginia, who are you going to throw out there on the road in an ACC game on a Friday night? So it ain't like you don't need to get Brock Glenn ready too, because I think he's the first guy up if something happens to Castellanos. But I could be 100% wrong. Maybe Sperry is the next guy.
Thank you to Zach.
Thank you very much, Zach. Always a pleasure. Hopefully I'll see you this weekend, buddy.
Mm-hmm. Let's go from Thomasville. Let's go to the east side. Let's go to Clay County. Let's go to Clay County. Corey Bates in the house. Look
at that picture. You see that picture?
Oh, let me see it. Oh, is it him? Is it?
I assume.
Oh, looks like that. Is that Daryl Jackson on Saturday after a big dub?
I'm guessing, looking longingly at Daryl Jackson's profile. I like it, Corey. Nice.
Sorry, Corey. I didn't mean to jump you like that. I apologize. Did you have a thought to finish up? I apologize.
No. I was just saying it looks nice.
Corey Bates, thank you, man. $50 in the jar.
What jersey is he wearing, Aslan? What number is that?
88.
So a little Kes McCorvey action, maybe?
Yeah.
All right.
His hat says Doak on the side. Yeah. By the way, I saw a bunch of hats. Actually, I shouldn't say out loud. They might be a competing brand or so. I've seen a bunch of these hats around Tallahassee this past weekend. I'm like, they don't even look that cool. And I've seen them on everybody, like from younger, like from students to grown dads and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, what? There's nothing cool about this hat. Why are you all wearing it? Anyhow, Corey says the other Corey, we may finally have guys on the line of scrimmage that move people around. My biggest takeaway is it seems like Norvell finally hit on high school recruits. Was there on the field. Great day to be a Nole. Always a great day to be a Nole, but some days a little bit better than others. Amen, Corey. Yeah, man, freshman, right? Although, listen, I got to be that guy. I thought Javan Boggs dropped the ball. It was tough. It was a contested throw. He could have caught it, but it's okay.
What I liked about it, yes, he could have caught it, and I think he's going to catch a lot of those in his career. He went up and attacked it. Yeah, he went up and said, "That's my ball." A cool moment about that play, because I know Jeff was talking about it on headlines, that it was a late throw by Tommy. It was not a good throw necessarily, but if you watch that play, I feel pretty confident his first read is Deuce Robinson, and Deuce gets grabbed. So he knows right away there's a flag going. So let me find the next read that's the farthest downfield, because here goes nothing. And he didn't maybe put it right where he wanted it, but he put it in a spot where his guy could have, and I would think should have in his mind, made that 30-yard catch. But what I did like about Boggs, other than him attacking that ball, finish it, was he didn't seem shy about blocking. And in that Sawchuk run, he's one of the guys, his first game ever, that goes to the pile to try to push him into the end zone. That's kind of heady for a kid that's never played college football before. So I think there's some stuff to like there. But yeah, he needs to make those catches for the rest of his career.
Yeah. Thank you, Corey. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. And yeah, I look, the Desir Twins for sure. The way they talk, Kevin Wynn might be better than both of them. We'll see about that. And then with Boggs and Cromaw, there's some things that you really like about what they brought in this last class.
Did Duty even play?
I don't think so.
Yeah, so they had a lot of good things to say about Duty, but yeah, man, it's that was refreshing to see like true freshmen out there making plays, not looking scared, and man, it feels good, man. It's just nothing to feel bad about. Which makes it sound like I'm looking for something. I'm not, everybody. I'm enjoying it, I promise.
Aslan's been miserable for 4 days trying to figure out what he can talk about.
I don't even know. I mean, what's up, man? Shout out to this guy. He absolutely loves the physicality that Tony White has brought to the defense. How do we keep that as the standard whenever he does leave? Or how can we possibly keep him around? Corey's pointed that out. Pay the man the money. I don't know. I wonder if he leaves to get a head coaching job, he probably takes Zach Arnett with him. Or does Zach Arnett say, thanks, but I like this place a little bit better? Maybe that's kind of the line of succession.
What if, and just hear me out, if this defense plays very, very well, and we all stay enormous Tony White fans and don't want him to leave at any cost, how about Florida State was one of the first schools to do the whole coach and waiting thing, and it actually worked out really well. What about just a co-head coach, Aslan? What about a co-head coach to keep Tony around? I mean, I know there's got to be a hierarchy, but you can see it, man. Like, people are really worried after one game about this guy leaving, because that's the kind of
defense we've been desperate to see for 10 years,
But also the way he communicates and talks, not just with his players, but to the fans through the media, is something I think Florida State fans have gotten behind. It's resonated with, and you don't want that kind of personality to just bounce after 12 months. Because the second part of that question is the good one, or the first part. Well, they're both good questions. I didn't mean to, but I don't know how you keep it as physical when he leaves. There's no guarantee that it happens. Jeremy Pruitt left. Ira brought this up on headlines. Jeremy Pruitt left. A lot of the same players for Charles Kelly to take over the next year. And they played about 75% as hard as they did the year before. They just did not play that hard for that guy. And so there's no guarantee if you promote from within, you're going to get that same kind of communication effort, whatever that magic sauce that Tony White seems to have with his defenses over the years. There's no guarantee that you get it with the next guy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, again, it's what it's going to make him a hot commodity, is that he just everywhere he goes is what he does, man. It's crazy. Again, Syracuse, Nebraska, now Florida State. Yeah, I mean, there's a special sauce to him that you're not going to be able to probably put in a jar and keep it here whenever he does leave. You just kind of hope you find somebody that I guess draws the same amount of kind of respect, right? But that'll be tough though, man. They seem to love Tony and for really good reason. Robert says maybe Mike can get part of his salary since he may have saved his job.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Mike, come on, buddy. What are you doing? Keep Tony here, man.
Hey, it's Bakari, everybody. Give it up for Bakari and Andrew Jackson in the house.
Dollar bills, y'all.
$20 in the jar. Thank you, Bakari.
Thank you, Bakari. And by the way, thank you, Zach. I don't know if I said that earlier. That was a very nice tip.
Yes.
Very, very nice. Very thoughtful.
All right, Bakari says, made my way to the game this weekend, and when I tell you the stadium was electric, the team came away with a convincing win with still plenty to improve on. Go Noles. That's the thing, Corey. It's hard to like contextualize that. We've heard them say that, and I think, muffed punt aside, and I don't know if that's like being greedy, right? Like they had 2 bad drives back-to-back in the third quarter in the second half, but man, like no one's going to have 12 touchdown drives, man. It's just not going to happen. But it does feel like whatever we saw was something that they can definitely build off of and get even better, which is maybe one of the most exciting parts about where we sit right now.
Well, yeah, because I do think they have good wide receivers, and they were used hardly at all. I mean, Squirrel made a great catch, but that was a huge play. But other than that, the wide receivers did nothing. Boggs didn't even have a catch. Pittman had 13 yards. I think but when Pittman gets back to health, he's going to be an enormous part of this offense. The tight ends in general are going to be enormous. They're not going to pass. They're not going to complete 9 passes. So when you think what the offense is going to be as we move forward, and also just in that game, you're really, really close if he catches that punt to just icing the thing, right? You're up 24-10. You're getting the ball at midfield. Alabama just had to punt after the quarterback ran around and got tackled again. That thing felt like it was on, like that thing was about to be donezo. And then you gave them life. Also, I know they didn't score that drive, but they kind of flipped the field a little bit. You also, not only did they wasn't the field position as much as just like it was one less possession for your offense to kind of just go ice the game. They fumble a ball and somehow gain 13 yards out of it. Like you had some stuff like that happen. Edward Joseph drops interception. But yes, there is a lot to improve upon. James Williams missing some sacks. That's stuff that you feel like can get better. That there is a reason that, like, I don't think this was their peak. Like looking back, as I said repeatedly, that 2023 Florida State team peaked in the second half against LSU. Now they still won all the games, but that was the best they played all season. All season, it was the first game. I don't expect that with this team. I think there's a chance, and I could be wrong, but I think there's a chance this team could have a couple of humdingers in it, where they look like maybe they're one of the better teams in the country if they can put it all together.
By the way, our Matt Lasser points out that our guy Corey was probably wearing a Ryan Fitzgerald jersey.
Whatever. Kez, you're still my guy. But yeah, it's probably a Ryan Fitzgerald jersey. Or maybe a Randy Moss jersey. I don't know what number he was going to wear when he was here. I guess he was 80. Was he 84? Was he 84 with the Vikings? So he was never 88? Oh, maybe? I don't know why I thought I think he was 88 at Marshall.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, that's right. So I think he was 88 at Marshall, but I could be wrong on that too. I know he was sitting next to our girl Jordan Hudson.
88. He was 88 at Marshall. You're right.
There we go. Daddy doesn't forget. And he got to sit next to Jordan Hudson at the North Carolina game.
Jordan,
and that was tough. That must have been really tough for her. Probably the worst night of her life.
Yeah, man. Our guy Wes, we kind of touched upon this, but he wonders who gets more snaps on Saturday, Brock or Kevin Sperry.
It would be. That's going to be interesting. And we're assuming, obviously, we're making an assumption that Florida State's going to get to play some backups. But, yeah, that would be nice if they did. They don't need to be screwing around with this game like they did. I don't even want to bring up Jack State. The North Alabama nonsense still pisses me off that they screwed around so much to start that game. So if you get to a very comfortable lead in the second half and the game is over, it's going to be fascinating who they feel the need to get more reps for. You know, I really, these next 2 games, if you're comfortably ahead, who are they trying to get ready? in case something happens to their starter. I think that'll be fascinating, man. I would say, again, like I said, I think it's Brock Glenn, but that's just a guess. I have no idea. But it'll tell us who's really the second-string quarterback, in my opinion, if they need to go to one.
If you want to make some fantasy plays this year, everybody, you need to go to Underdog Sports. And by going to Underdog Sports, I mean, you got to go to your app store and download the Underdog Fantasy Sports app. If you use the promo code WARCHANT, you'll get $50 in bonus funds. Underdog does it right. It's easy. It's simple, clean interface. Just boom. Baylor SMU, Kevin Jennings, higher or lower, half total touch. Well, no, rushing or receiving touchdowns. We'll go higher on him. We're going to go high scoring. If we're going to go over on Sawyer Robertson of Baylor.
Okay. All right.
And then with just that, you put $20 down, you can win $78 on just 2 plays on your pick'em chart. So go check out Underdog Fantasy Sports. Again, they do it right. They have pretty good policy too when it comes to guys getting injured early in the game. Not a lot of books do that sort of stuff, but they're not a sports book. They're Underdog Fantasy Sports. It's different. But you are playing for cash money, everybody. Dollar bills. Lots of good games this weekend, believe it or not. Oklahoma, Michigan. I'm sure there's something to be later on the week popping up over here at Underdog. And also every other sport you can think of. NFL season has started, Major League Baseball, soccer, UFC, even esports. You sickos. Esports.
Yeah, no lie.
As well. Give it a check out. Go to Underdog Sports in your app store. Give it a download. Again, use the promo code WARCHANT, and you'll get $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. Corey, is there a game on there? Was there a sport that you're interested in? You want me to pop it up here, and you can spit out some ideas, and we can see what it looks like?
What about the NFL? There's a couple games. There's a Thursday night and a Friday night game.
There is. All right.
Okay.
We're loading at Aslan's internet, letting us. All right, there we go. I think we have to pick different teams. I don't think you can load all Eagles. You got to take an Eagle and a Cowboy.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll take Saquon and CeeDee Lamb. There you go. The over for both.
On their touchdowns?
Oh, I just meant their yardage.
Oh, the yardage? Okay, the higher, not the over, Corey.
Yeah, sorry.
Higher. 96.5 on Saquon, 71.5 on CeeDee Lamb. $20 gets you 60, man.
I tripled my money.
Look at that.
That's all I'm trying to do.
Check it out. Underdog Fantasy Sports. All right, home stretch here. Let's get some of these last questions. This was from earlier in the day. I apologize. I think he might be a new subscriber. I've been seeing him on YouTube, very active, but now he's over at warchant.com too. Braden says, what were your initial reactions to seeing the AP poll? I saw several people on ESPN say we deserve way higher.
Yeah, it's fine though. I saw that too, and I know McMurphy had him 8. Yeah, there's other people that had him. I think somebody ranked him like 3rd or 4th. It's fine. What will happen though, as long as the other shoe doesn't drop, the next 3 weeks you're just going to go up because teams in front of you are going to lose, and you presumably are not. So by the time you get to Virginia, I would assume your top 10 are right there, and then you beat Virginia. And if Miami doesn't falter, then you got yourself a top 10 matchup, Aslan. You got yourself a top 10 matchup. The beauty is it does not matter. We've all said that, but it's true. It doesn't matter right now. But it's cool that we can talk about. Yeah, there's somebody that ranked Florida State 3rd.
Shout out David Jablonski at the Dayton Daily News got the Noles 5th.
Yeah. Dang right, David Jablonski.
Ooh. John Wilner.
Yep, 4th.
John Wilner's a big voice out there on the West Coast for formerly Pac-12 football. San Jose Mercury News got the Noles 4th.
Yep.
Kirk Bowles, the legend out of Texas, got the Noles 4th.
Yep.
So where are we doing the live show in Charlotte, Corey?
I guess we'll do it. We'll get there Thursday. Why don't we do a Thursday evening show, trying to get everybody as they get into the city. We'll get them all riled up and excited. But yeah, look, it's 14 going from unranked, and I don't even know if they received any votes, to 14. That's a pretty drastic.
They had like 8 votes. They were in the receiving votes category.
What were they? If you counted them all, 39th, 41st.
Right. Well,
to go from 41st to 14 is a pretty drastic market correction. So just know that if you keep winning, you'll be good. I thought 19 honestly was a little bit too low in the coaches. I think 14 is perfect. I think 14 is perfect right now.
Us writers, we know what we're talking about sometimes.
Yeah, coaches don't know nothing.
Our guy Ben, I remember him as Ben. Still don't know how to pronounce his last name though. What is he biting on in his car? Very like
a Klondike bar.
Some kind of ice cream sandwich, possibly.
I think it's a Klondike bar.
Is it Klondike? I love Klondikes, man.
Yeah.
But when I was a kid, I think Klondike had a big recall, so my mom was like, "No Klondike bars." I'm like, "What? Please?"
Yeah. You know, like Klondikes was Kanye West. One of his more popular songs from when he was coming out mentions a Klondike bar.
Random thought. Sorry to divert conversation. Like a Tupac song came on, random song from Me Against the World during the gym today. And I'm like, man, I used to love rap music so much as a kid. I don't like most any of it today, but anything from back in the day you can throw on and I'll feel it in my bones. Like maybe I'm just an old man now and I can't embrace the new, but like Brady is Brady and like Brady's got like Migos are his guys, or Migos even a thing anymore?
I don't know that he's I don't know who he listens to, but I don't think it's Migos, but yes, he is very much into rap. Yeah. He loves the hip hop. Okay.
Ben says, did we ask Norvell? Well, if you're asking that, I'm not asking him a question for another month, guys. Keep up with what's going on. Anyhow, though, did we ask Mike Norvell if he's having a bigger impact by not calling plays when on the sidelines, like talking to the team?
Well, he said we as in the royal we.
Right. I know.
Not you. No, we have not really. We didn't ask him what that was like. I don't think. Maybe somebody did on Monday or Saturday just about the communication with him and Gus. But no, we have not asked him about that yet. It's more interesting to watch him on the sideline now. He used to just, he's sitting there with his play sheet no matter what was happening. Now he is walking over, talking to different position groups and different players. He's more available to the entire team as opposed to just the quarterback and the receivers. But no, I don't think he's been asked that. We will ask it though, because I'm genuinely curious.
By the way, Corey, no press conference Monday.
Okay.
Tuesday, Wednesday availability.
Boom. Got it.
And I still think we get coordinators this Sunday. We won't get them next Sunday.
All right.
Hey, shout out to Shane. Maybe not the Shane,
but a Shane.
But a Shane. Don't forget about the streaks on Underdog, straight money makers. Just saying, it's people like this one. We had a sports book back in the day that some people might have not had as
that wasn't great.
Hey, man, you got to read the fine print, guys. I'm kidding. I love everybody. All right, let's see here. There's a shout out. We got the real Ben drops $2 in the jar.
Dollar bills, y'all.
I think he meant bigger impact. Jared Verse 2023, Jermaine Johnson 2021.
I don't know how to answer that other than to say I'm not sure there is a Jared Verse 23 without the Jermaine 21. So if you want to go on what Jermaine did for the program and making it appealing to a defensive end, and he became I think he was the ACC Defensive Player of the Year. What he did, and I know they didn't end up going to a bowl, but they won some big games, and he was a huge part of it. I don't know that Jared Verse maybe even comes to Florida State if they don't have Jermaine Johnson as the proof of concept of what we're going to do with you here. So I don't know. It's like who had a bigger impact? Who was the bigger artist, Bob Dylan or Tom Petty? I don't know that there is a Tom Petty without a Bob Dylan, but I like Tom Petty more. I think Jared Verse a better player than Jermaine Johnson, but I don't know that Jared Verse ever plays at Florida State without Jermaine Johnson. Both all-time great Noles, and Jermaine Johnson, he's healthy. Hopefully he has a huge season this year for the Jets.
He clarified his question, but the answer is the same. Listen, Jared Verse his 2022 is better than his 2023.
Yeah, but at the end of that season, when they needed him, and they needed him because Travis wasn't there, he straight up dominated those last two games, like the Florida game and the Louisville game. When it got late, he and Fisk they iced that win. So with that in mind,
he and Fisk. Who did Jermaine Johnson?
Keir Thomas, baby, Keir Thomas. No, but I would say I guess the bigger impact, meaning like, all right, well they still didn't go to a bowl even with Jermaine. So Verse at least got him to an ACC championship. So I would probably side with Verse for the bigger impact on a season, but it's close, man. It's tough. It's like picking between children.
Last two questions. Biggest takeaway from the game Saturday from Chop Nation News. And Philip says, should we wait until Alabama plays against another power team and see how they do before we get too excited about FSU?
No, because of the way it looked, Philip. That's a fair question because we don't know how good Alabama is. We'll see. They might be a 6-6 team. They might not be a bowl team. DeBoer might get fired. But no matter who Florida State played last year, they didn't look like that. That the way they looked and as hard as they played and as physical as they were, that's what gets people so excited. Not just the score on the scoreboard, which was exciting too, but the fact that you looked like that against a talented team, albeit maybe not one that's bought in with that coach, but a very talented team. That's what's so encouraging. No matter how Alabama does, I think that's something that will be that'll carry over week to week. They're going to play hard, and they're going to be physical, and they should be tough to slow down. And Tommy is a guy that, if he's healthy, is going to be making plays against everyone. So that's why I think it's an exciting win, no matter what Alabama ends up being.
Hey, Vishal's here, everybody. I haven't seen Vishal for a minute. What up, Vishal?
Yeah, Vishal, come to CP one of these times, buddy.
You mentioned it in passing, but when we spoke to Norvell after practice on Wednesday, last availability of the week, he did mention Randy Pittman's going to be out. Pittman apparently was injured before the Alabama game, but gritted it out and still played a bunch.
Played a lot. Man, talk about that kid, by the way.
Yeah.
He was injured, significantly enough injured that he's missing the next few weeks. And he went and played 50 snaps against Alabama and was knocking people on their backsides.
Yeah, so we don't have an exact timeline, but it feels like with this game, an off week, Kent State, you would think he probably, again, this is conjecture. I don't know the extent of his injury. We heard, shout out to a guy, I think 850 Noel on Warchant posted it 2 days ago and got flamed, which is crazy. Like, I love how passionate Florida State fans are, and everybody wants all this breaking news. And then like some guys like, hey man, like I heard this, and everyone's like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You're a liar. Get out of here. He was right. But you would just think with that amount of runway, probably I would think Virginia's a reasonable target for a return.
Yeah, I mean, Virginia's September 26th, so that would be, essentially 26 days off to get ready. You hope that's 4 weeks. Hopefully in 4 weeks he'll be good to go. If he was able to play on whatever it was. Now, I don't know what they're doing, if they have to go clean up something, whatever they have to do, go in at all to fix something. But you hope 4 to 5 weeks is the absolute max. But yeah, but also that's kind of cool too. Like, you want Randy Pittman, he's good, he's your best tight end, but you get some playing time for Amari and Landon and people of that ilk. Maybe Chase Lofton. I know he's a wide receiver now.
I don't want to keep us here too long, Corey, but I just want to touch on the biggest takeaway. And during the offseason, we just talked about, and I think Jeff was kind of introduced this idea first, and it just kind of germinated from there. But just the way that the sport is now, right? Like, there's going to be these huge ebbs and flows. You're going to be in Michigan, you're going to go 15-0, but then you might end up only winning 8 games the next season. And I kind of bought into that a little bit. I never thought though that you could go from 13-2 to maybe 13 again, right? Like, so my biggest takeaway is just like, and listen, we're gonna do shows all preseason long, and we're gonna be passionate, we're gonna make opinions that we believe in. But man, they're probably not going to hold a lot of water 2-3 weeks once the season starts, because it is crazy. And thank God Florida State profited from the transfer portal when it came into its infancy, and whatever we're calling what's going on now, where you're just completely upheaval of the roster. I mean, look what Bill Belichick did in North Carolina. Like, maybe
he did great. He did great, I thought. He looked good. The whole team looked
like
good.
60 new players. I know Florida State doesn't have 60, but man, I mean, it's the biggest takeaway to me is just this sport. It needs to get some maybe guardrails, or I don't know, some level of order. But I'll enjoy the fact that Florida State's profiting all. But it's just crazy to me that you can go from 13-2 to that you might be able to bounce back and win 13 again with a whole new set of guys. It's crazy. It's just crazy.
Yeah, I think volatility is the way of the world moving forward. Not this volatile though. I don't think you're ever going to see 13-0 to 2-10, and then you beat Alabama the first game of the next season. That's the biggest yo-yo. that's in the history of yo-yo. That doesn't even make sense. That saying didn't even make sense. But I mean, nobody goes up and down like that. That's crazy. But there will be a lot of dips and ebbs and flows to programs from season to season. But my biggest takeaway from that game is, they got the coaching hires right. They got most of the roster right for what they want to be and what they want their culture and their DNA to be for this season. Physical kids that are tough. It's a tough football team, right? It's a tough football team. I guess that would be my biggest takeaway. For right now, we'll see how they hold up health-wise. It is a tough, mentally tough, physically tough football team, which it was the exact opposite last year. Also, I didn't get to enjoy the stadium as in like sit in the seats, but apparently it basically passed with flying colors. So that's a big takeaway too, is the administration, the builders, the contractors, whoever, did a great job with the stadium. Most all the reviews were positive. So yeah, that was cool to see too, and it was a great moment. It was a really electric moment, an electric stadium. It was like old school Doak, even though it was a new stadium. It was old school Doak, and it was really fun to be there.
Yeah, nobody complained about their sightline being obstructed, but
I did see a legitimate, not a complaint, but because I noticed it too when I was looking at one of the TV angles, that those sections in the Champions Club that are like they're the bar seating, where like there's a silver bar in front of the people sitting there. From the ground view, it looks like emptiness, like there's nobody there. I don't like that as much, but I don't know what else you do. But just so you know, folks, those sections were completely full. It's like the Chop House at Turner Field at Truist Park. Those people sit there. They've got a table in front of them, and it doesn't look like there are people in those sections from certain vantage points, but it was full and it was rocking. They were banging on the tables. Just a good time all around. East Texas A&M ain't ready for it, Aslan.
No,
they're not ready for it.
All right, thanks everybody for joining us here. We certainly appreciate all the questions from everybody. Shout out to S. Quinn, our guy Eric Angel, Aaron, whoever R. Ken Dust Jr. is, Zach, Corey Bates, Bakari, The Real Ben, and thanks to Andrew from behind the scenes, firing up all the comments and everything. And we'll be back with one more show Friday. We'll do over-unders, $25 of Garnet and Gold up for grabs. Even if you're not a subscriber, you can get involved in that. Jeff Cameron show, 1 to 4 o'clock. Warchant report dropping later in the week as well. I don't know if Matt Lacer is going to do a matchup analysis. Maybe. Who knows?
Not.
But
Maybe not.
Warchant.com's got you covered like no one else. If the Noles are your favorite team, it'll probably be your favorite website.
Join. If the Noles are your favorite team and you watch this, join. There's a lot of people like you that like to talk about Florida State sports.
From behind the scenes, our guy Andrew Witherspoon, Corey Clark, Aslan Hudvandy. Thanks for watching. Hit the thumbs up on the way out and check out Vitamin Energy, vitaminenergy.com. Shake it and take it. Warchant BOGO. Buy one, get one free.